to become the best possible version of you. This is Sandee Sgarlata, and today I've got some exciting news for our dedicated listeners. We've just launched our exclusive members only portal. This is your ticket to a world of additional content designed to deepen your understanding and engagement with the Happiness Solved mission. To learn more about all of the exciting benefits, stay tuned until the end of the episode where I will explain in greater detail. For those interested now, head over to happinesssolved.supercast.com. Today is another amazing conversation, so let's get started. Noel Agape. So excited. And we were just laughing before this because we've been trying to set this up for 3 years?
Literally 3 years. It's crazy. Crazy. We finally get it.
Okay. It's
Worlds
okay.
our worlds are aligned.
That's
sure.
right. And you know what? I always feel like whenever I have the guest on, it's perfect because that's when it's supposed to be. And we're going to have a great conversation. But real quick, for those of you who do not know Noel, you are a TV network president, executive producer and host of the TV show Soul on Fire, health and wellness counselor, NLP master trainer, quantum energy trainer, adventure mastermind host. And I just learned recently that you're also a shaman. And I'm like, what else don't I know about you? Because so I'm so excited to dive into all this. But I'm just so happy to be here and to see your beautiful face. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I have a vast variety of experience, but my greatest joy is to just bring God's voice out to the world. So thank you for having me on.
Oh, such a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. And before we dive into everything you're doing, I was thinking about that this morning because I knew I was going to be interviewing you this afternoon. And I was like, I don't even think I've heard your full story. Like, what is your story? Who is Noel Agape? And how did you get to this point? Because I don't think I even know your backstory.
Well, it's a story of the hero's journey. Probably is the best way to describe it. Certainly, moving into the divine feminine power. Um, I'll start at the beginning. I was at a very young age. I was 6 years old. I was sexually abused by my neighbor, and my dad was an abusive alcoholic. And going on the journey of self healing and self worth and self development, my grandfather was my hero from all of that, and my grandparent, he basically rescued me, and we went and lived with my grandparents, and he was the divine masculine, completely in divine love with my grandmother, and would swing me on his I would dance on his feet at our resort, and he'd say, you are a princess now, but you're a goddess when you grow up, I promise, and women are meant to be treasured. And that man that was my hero actually died in my arms when I was 15 years old from cancer.
Oh, mm.
And so fast forward to the year I got divorced. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, and I was like, "We are not doing this again." Like my dad had passed away at 49 of a heart attack after an abusive battle of alcohol, and so for me. At the moment that I got divorced and my mom got diagnosed with cancer, I was already a therapist in that, or a counselor in that space, and healing with the emotional space, but I knew I had to do something bigger in this world. And I was like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. And I stopped and I learned, I went on to graduate school and learned about psychology and quantum physics and neurolinguistics and the mind body connection, and understanding that we actually can change. Literally change our health. And my mom is now 14 years cancer free. And
Wow.
it's a beautiful journey of understanding. Through death I found life, and through the darkness I found the light, and understanding and knowing that all of the pain that was in my childhood was stored as trauma in my nervous system, in my neural net pathways and my
Mhm.
belief systems. And then learned about quantum physics, and then became a shaman and merged science and spirituality, and understanding and knowing that we are more powerful than we'll ever know, and everything is inside of us. And that's what I teach now.
It's incredible. And I want to talk more about your the quantum work that you do, because quantum physics is an area where it's so vast. And I think so many people only know like the surface. What made you attracted and pulled into that direction? And how does one get started to educate themselves in to tap into that quantum field?
Well, the quantum field is an infinite field of possibilities, right? And so you don't have to you don't have to go through all of the training that I went to. It's really merging science and spirituality and understanding your heart and mind coherence. And I'll be a little scientific and specific, but it's the electromagnetic fields. And so the electro is the thought process, and the magnetic is the emotions. So the heightened sense of thought,
Mm.
heightened sense of emotion is what you actually magnetize into your life. And what most don't understand is we're not achieving a desire. The desire comes through us in the electromagnetic fields, and it's pushed out through us for consciousness to feel through us and experience in consciousness.
I love how you broke that down, that the electro part is your thoughts and the magnetic part is your feelings. And I don't, that's probably something that I've known, but the way you just explained it makes it so that anybody can understand. Because when you say magnetic field, it's kind of this woo woo, like you can't touch it, you can't, right? It's there, but some people say they can see it or claim they can see like an aura fields and things like that. I certainly can't. I know you can. I can't yet. I know that it's something that you can learn how to do. But I love that because it's really, things start with the thoughts, but what happens is that the energy, that emotion that we put and attach to those thoughts is what gets us in trouble. Can you dive into that a little bit more?
Sure. And again, it's the heightened sense of thought and the heightened sense of emotion, but your thoughts become patterns and your patterns become beliefs, and then your beliefs become your reality. And what most don't understand is that creation is done. And so there's already a version of you that is waiting and calling you on your soul's journey. And it is actually, we're here to experience and expand. And so the polarity that you're feeling or seeing in your life is actually guiding you home to a greater version of you. And that's the spiritual piece. And the scientific piece is that if you understand that every thought and every emotion that you have is literally what you're manifesting, then you choose consciousness over ego every day. And so if you're going through your thoughts and you create, I call it the monkey brain, right? Your brain goes beyond crazy, and it's racing, and your nervous system is irregulated, and your neural pathways are fired and going off in the wrong direction. What happens is that we have an internal belief system about trauma. And so through all of my trauma that I just explained before, I learned that the polarity is there for a greater version, right? And so what we are manifesting right now in this moment, if everything is created, the past, present, and future all exist at once in the quantum fields. We get to choose consciousness or ego. And when we understand that the fear, the anger, the hurt, the sadness, the guilt and shame, the lower frequencies that lead us to the belief systems of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not safe, secure, and protected, or lovable, or whole and complete in that moment, that's ego, not consciousness. And so consciousness is coming through us to move us in the direction to experience and expand. But I promise you this, if you're in ego, not consciousness, your experience will be very, very contracted, not expansive.
For sure. So what can somebody do when they recognize that they're having these limiting beliefs or they're feeling the shame and the guilt? Because I think the shame and guilt are two of the most powerful ones that are so easy to slip into and beat yourself up over. Or you claim that somebody is making you feel guilty. Well, nobody can make me feel guilty. I own that. I have to, I create that for myself. So when they recognize that, what tips can you offer the audience to help them to make that shift?
Well, I think that when you feel an emotion, most people try to run from it, or people try to, and especially in the healing space, they try to heal it and they try to go in and they try to transmute it. what the emotion is actually doing is talking to you, right? And it's
Mm.
showing you your belief system around that emotion or that thing that's happening in your life. And so
Right.
going deeper in, and it's, and I say this all the time, honey, is that the manifestation is an internal game. It's not an external game. And what most don't understand is that that emotion is asking you to go into that inner child and heal that wound and that trauma that was experienced, and experience it and have a voice and allow it to come through you. And a healed person comes from a space, not from going in and just doing the energetic work, but also understanding the emotion and what it is showing you and how you can make a different choice in that same emotion. So say that guilt comes up within you and you're feeling guilty, and it's making you angry, or you're in sabotage, or you're in anything that is not conscious. What it is asking of you is to do the opposite, and one, not react to it, and lean into the emotion, learn from it. What is this teaching me? What is this showing me? How can I be better? How can I be more in consciousness than in ego right now? And
Mm.
it really is, the best way to describe it is it's a relationship with you and your highest self and God, source, the universe, whatever you believe it to be. Something is bigger than you that is asking you to expand in that moment, but you have to lean in. And a lot of the time the people that are in victim consciousness don't feel that it's easier to blame than to look within,
Oh,
right?
so true. And I love it because so often I say this on, when I'm talking to people on my podcast, is that people don't lean into that because it's so uncomfortable. But in order to grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's the hardest part to recognize.
It is. It is. It is. And so it's a journey with you and you and your higher self and you and God. And every single day I wake up and I have a morning routine and a nighttime routine that I could go over for you if you'd like. But it's every single day I stop and I'm like, okay, I pre-frame my day
Mhm.
with intention and in meditation and journaling and gratitude. And I pre-frame my day, and then when I fall from grace, I stop and I pause and I say, okay, what do I need right now? What does my body need right now? What does my nervous system need right now? What does my spirit need right now? What is it asking me? And then at the end of the day, I reframe my day and I'm like, okay, where did I fall from grace? Where can I be better tomorrow? How can I be more expansive? How can I be more conscious? How can I help someone else that was in this space that I've moved through?
Yeah. And I love that, framing the day. And I started doing that after I heard you were sharing that with me. And I love that because sometimes I would find that I would start to beat myself up. Well, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And instead it's like, well, what did I do? What did I do really well today? Okay, well, I didn't do that. Okay, so tomorrow let's think about this. And I love that because that's what it comes down to. It's all about those focused, intended action, or action with intention, rather.
And,
Yeah.
and and that's, I love the word that you used, intention. I don't really set goals. I set intentions,
Yeah.
because when you have an intention, it's you and your spirit working together for the greater good, right? And so intention is everything. And again, it's really, it's crazy because it's the quantum fields, but it's so simple. The electro is the thought and the magnetic is the emotion. So what is the heightened sense of thought, and what's the heightened sense of emotion, and what's the belief system behind it? And that's your driving actions, and that's what you're going to manifest, right? And so if you have intention, and intention doesn't always come like, oh, sometimes you have instant manifestations and they appear magically, but sometimes it's little intentions after little intentions after little intentions until you're at your final result, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. Oh my gosh, we could talk about this for hours, but I want to talk about your TV show, Soul on Fire. Can you, because I know you said, I mean, you've been getting millions and millions of views. So talk about that. Where can people find it? And give us an idea of what people can expect when they tune into the show.
So the Soul on Fire show is merging science and spirituality, and it's understanding the quantum fields and how to use manifestation in a way that is not manipulation, right? And so it is understanding that you are the power within you, and it is the connection to source and your highest power to get you to where you need to be. And it's on E360 TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, the Roku channel, Samsung, LG TV. And basically, what we do is we take you on a journey and we break through your upper limits and tap you into your zone of genius. And we find that inner genius within you and connect you into your soul's purpose.
Mm, that's incredible. Can you give a little bit of an insight when you talk about finding your zone of genius? Because it means something different for so many people. I mean, I've taught courses on zone of genius. It means one thing for me. For you, it may mean something else. And I would just love to hear you share about what that is, and maybe a couple of golden nuggets that people can use and apply in their life today.
Well, one of the greatest books I've ever read, thank you, Chris Winfield, for giving it to us at UAL, right? Was The Big Leap, and knowing and understanding that you have a zone of excellence, which is your natural given gifts and your talents, right? I was a counselor, a therapist, and that was really great, and I was checking every box, but that wasn't my zone of excellence, right? When I started to tap into the quantum fields and become a shaman, and then actually then become a TV host and using media to bring God's voice out, that's your zone of genius. So your zone of excellence is what you're really good at, and your zone of genius is your mission. And it's really what your purpose driven is at the point is in your life. And so it's your soul's journey. And I'm going to explain it very, very differently than in the book The Big Leap. You should read the book Big Leap because it's amazing. But your zone of genius is when you're tapped into your codes of your mission, and you're living in your mission, and you're literally expressing yourself from service, and you're coming in as the master that, I am the teacher and the student all in the same breath. And that's true Christ consciousness. And that's the highest level of consciousness is the empowered teacher. And so your zone of genius is everything that you have mastered, and then bringing it into your soul's purpose as big as you possibly can in this earth. The zone of excellence is what you're really good at, basically.
So what can people do to figure out and distinguish between the zone of excellence and the zone of genius?
Well, the zone of excellence is really, I say, the 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 zone of genius's greatest arch enemy, right? Because you can stay really safe in your zone of excellence, right? I come out of grad school. I'm a licensed counselor and making six figures. It looked very good on paper, right? But my soul knew, like I was helping emotionally disturbed kids, and I got punched in the face and then a desk thrown at me, and my soul knew I can never do this again. And then that's when I went on the journey of learning the neurolinguistics and then the quantum fields. And I got pulled, and my soul was like excited, and it was getting pulled, just like with travel and an adventure, how my soul gets activated, right? With media, I mean, I could talk to a cat on camera and have a show, right? And it just was so easy for me. Someone came to me 9 years ago and was like, Noelle, you need a show. Like, what you talk about is crazy. And I was like, I don't even know how to be a TV host. I'm a therapist, right? But it just was easy, and it was fun, and it just kept growing without the struggle. That's how like the zone of excellence is what society has told you should be, and your zone of genius is what your soul is telling you what you should be.
Love it. I love it. And I literally have just experienced that in my own life, because I'm leaving my six-figure corporate job, which is my zone of excellence. Podcasting and everything else that I'm doing is my zone of genius. And I'm just so excited to take that leap, be very, very uncomfortable, because it's pushing me. And that's such a great thing. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life to be there with me. And yeah, and I haven't even announced it on my podcast yet, but I will be launching Happiness Solved on E360 television. It's in the works. I'll be letting everybody know. Noelle is the president of my network that I will be on E360 TV, and I'm just so excited about that. So lastly, let's talk about your Instagram page, because I could spend hours on your Instagram page, and it is so much fun. Like, if you want to just escape the world and really live vicariously through somebody that's so positive and healthy and normal and just incredible, you got to visit Noelle's Instagram page because it's so much fun. So talk about that and some of the adventures that you've done before we finish up today.
Oh, I love that you said that, and for me, it just brings me joy because I am a creator at all. From the depths of my soul, I am a creator. So I run adventure masterminds around the world, and we use fear as a motivator, not a debilitator. We literally jump off cliffs for a living. Which is so incredible. I went from and this is living from your soul, guys. I went from some emotionally disturbed child punching me in the face, throwing a desk at me, to literally transforming lives by ziplining and jumping off cliffs. And we're going to Africa together
Yes,
and
we are.
amazing adventures around the world. Why did I do that? Was because I really believe that healing is fun, right? You don't have to be in this like the victim. You don't have to be heavy. Believe me, before every breakthrough, there is always going to be a setback. Before every huge breakthrough, and what we do on the adventure masterminds is we literally, I mean, in Costa Rica, I rappelled into a 900-foot waterfall. It was the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Water was like pounding on me. I'm 100 pounds, and water was pounding on me, and I was like, okay, God, this is me and you, right? And I'm in Utah, and I'm climbing literally like in the middle of a 4,000 foot mountain. I'm in the middle. The guy that anchored me like literally is at the top, and my videographer's in the bottom, and I'm like, I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna do this. And so what I do is I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I have this crazy gift of adventure. I set people's souls on fire, and we go on these incredible magnetic adventure masterminds. But we take whatever is your greatest fear before that mastermind, and we use it in all of these crazy adventures around the world, and then we transmute it and have you manifest the life of your dreams in that moment.
Love it, love it, love it. Noelle, where can people find you? You already talked about where they can watch the show, but what is your Instagram handle? Well, it'll be in the show notes too, but what is that so that everybody can follow you and live vicariously through you and your amazing journeys?
Well, you're coming on them too. So.
I know, well.
So excited. So noelleagape.com is the easiest place. On Instagram, I'm all over the internet, but on Instagram, if you want to come follow me on Instagram, it's Noelle_agape. It's actually me if you want to DM me and get in touch with me, and just reach out, guys. Life is meant to be lived. Your soul has a purpose here to experience and expand, and the more that you expand, the better your experience is going to be. So find joy in every moment and set your soul on fire.
Oh, I love it. Noelle, this has just been such an honor and a privilege to talk to you today. And it's not going to be the last time because you're going to be on my TV show as well.
And you're going to be on mine.
Okay, perfect. Deal. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for listening in today.
Thanks for having me on.